race season starts in about a month, less than a month now actually, and as you can see the Civic is nowhere close to being ready, so it's crunch time. We got to get this stuff done. So I've spent all day working on the wiring, just trying to get it cleaned up. I've also been running around town picking up car parts and stuff like that, trying to get everything that I need to put it back together. Right now it's about midnight, so I've been working on it all the way through. I really need to get this driver's side finished up, so the plan is to just work all night until it's done, because it has to get done. I don't care. Instead of getting a bunch of footage together for that, I'm just going to set up the GoPro and I'll just do a time lapse of me going through everything. So here's the time lapse, and then I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so I think I pretty much got all the wiring done on the front end of the car now. So I put in a pretty late night last night. I was probably out till about 3 a.m. until I finally went to bed. But I was able to get the driver's side finished. I got the wiring cleaned up, the fenders put on, and then I also was able to paint underneath my side moldings, which allowed me to reinstall them for the last time. I got my interior put back together again, so it actually looks like a car in there again. And then I kind of called it a night. So I've been kind of working on it all day today also. I apologize for the lack of footage, but I just really needed to get this stuff done. And the reason the wiring took me so long to do, like it basically took me all day today just to get through it, was because the Civic only has 2 side markers, or at least this one did. So one on each side for the signal lights, and on the EL bumper I have signal lights there as well. So I had to splice in the EL harness just to make sure that I had all the lights functioning the way that they should. So it was a little bit of trial and error there to get it to work, but got that working. And then the second reason was because I had to make sure that all the wires were the right length. I wasn't going to cut anything too short. I think I got it right on where it needs to be. I'm pretty happy with the way everything's sitting in there, so we shouldn't have any issues with wires being too short at this point. So I also ended up going through every single wire on the front harness, I guess mainly the headlight harness, and just kind of picked out all the wires that weren't being used. I mean, from the factory, I found this harness with a plug on the end of it wasn't even being used for anything. So as far as I know, it has no use being there. So I just removed it all together, and then that actually cleaned up one whole harness from the one side of the car. I think there were only 2 wires on the passenger side harness that were actually being used for anything, and that would be the horn. And then I believe it's the wire that goes to the rad fan that tells it to turn on when it gets to a certain temperature. But we already have an override switch, so I can run it whenever I want. And the horn wasn't working on the car to begin with. I did save it anyway. It's nicely packed away, so in case I do end up needing it for whatever reason, I do have it set aside, and it can always be plugged back in again. That's basically why it took me so long today, and it was a lot of boring stuff. That's kind of why I didn't get much footage for it, because it wouldn't be too interesting to watch a bunch of that trial and error stuff. So just know that it's done now at least, and we can move on to the next step. Basically, the next step for me is going to be to turn the car around so I have access to the passenger side, and kind of just do everything on that side also. But the wire tuck is finished, so that was a big thing that I had wanted to get done. Now I'm waiting basically on getting everything back from powder coating, Mainly the strut forks I need back so I can reinstall them on the car, so I can lower it to the ground and then I can turn it around. I might just end up taking the forks off of the EL that we have in the backyard, assuming they're not seized on there, but chances are they will be, but maybe I'll get lucky again and they'll come right off. But I might try that just to get the car turned around so I can make some more progress. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. This is kind of more of an update video than anything, but at least I'm making the progress that I need to make. I'm feeling a little better now about where I'm sitting, just because I have to have it ready for the beginning of May. So I think we're back on track again, and then we just need to make some more progress from here. So anyway, that's kind of where the Civic's at right now. Just wanted to update you all on what's going on. Hopefully I'll be able to get some more interesting footage for you guys next time, so stay tuned.